Come down. Ooh, you make my high come down. Always tripping when you come around. Never have to cut you off like right now. You see, I don't want to drive me. You can say that for your mama. Maybe you should smoke something. Try the marijuana. I was never you good. The vibe was straight. Showed you a couple of things and they feel the change. I treated you right. Everything was a gift from a time to your bag and a color on your lip. Yeah, you
Welcome to a special edition of Seahawks Man to Man, a YouTube exclusive. You guys know where to follow me on whatever Elon Musk is calling that app these days, at Mike Dugar, Mikedugar. Appreciate the love and support for everyone tapping into our YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, right? Well, they're separate buttons, but you know what I mean. Hit both of the buttons right now. And also make sure to follow us on Instagram. Seahawks Man to Man is the name of that. And on TikTok. That is, you guessed it, Seahawks Man to Man on TikTok as well. Thank you in advance for all that love and support. Chris, go ahead and talk to him.
What is going on, beautiful people? You can follow me on Twitter at CKIDD206, and that's CKid206. Mike, we're back at it. Standout Plays week 2. There was a lot. There's an hour worth of film because they went to overtime, obviously. So there's a lot to get into this past week as the Seahawks took on the Patriots and were victorious in overtime. And a question that I remember that was asked from maybe one or two of our listeners from Sunday after we did our Sunday postgame show. Someone was curious about how Byron Murphy looked during the game. And I was honest. I said, look, to the naked eye watching the game, I know he had the sack and I couldn't remember the other play he had. When I went back and watched the film, he was pretty disruptive. And that's who I'm going to use as my standout player / plays from the game against the Patriots. I thought he was disruptive in the run game, and he also was credited with the half a sack with Leonard Williams. I personally think give the brother his first sack. You don't have to give him a half. I think he was the first to contact Jacoby Brissett in that scenario. We'll go through that later on here. But that is just a little background on my selection this week. So I am going with Byron Murphy, and I'm going to start off with this run stuff here. And as you can see, the Seahawks come out and not one, but their 3 safety look. All right. Now, that's been new to the Seahawks defense. You usually only have Julian Love out there with Rayshawn, but sometimes the Seahawks will go Julian Love, Rayshawn, and Mr. Wallace. So in this scenario, they do that. Going a little heavy here. And a couple of the things that stood out to me was just how quickly Byron is in the run defense in this scenario. He is able to quickly shed the center. Actually, I believe it's a pull. So I'll actually roll the play and you'll see exactly how it breaks down. But it's third quarter, about 2 minutes left, second down and about 3 yards. So obvious running down, you would think, but you can do a lot if the running game has been effective throughout the game. In this scenario, yeah, the Patriots, what is their DNA? They love to run the football, and they try to get a nice little stretch. So you'll see here when they snap the ball, the center and the guard pull. And if you see Byron Murphy, that dude just is as big as he is and athletic as he is, kind of crazy. If you guys watch, he gets cut blocked. Now, unfortunately, you guys saw what happened with a cut block that took Nwosu out for a couple of weeks. Hopefully, he'll be back next week against Detroit Lions, but we'll have an update later on. But in this scenario, Byron just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to cut block me, bro. That's just not what you're going to be able to do. You got to put hands on me and move me back. And as you can see, he wins immediately. I'm going to pause it as soon as he gets cut blocked. But, I mean, I did a poor job of pausing it. But if I take it back just a little bit, it's not even effective. Obviously, this play looks good. Right now, this play looks like it could be money. It's a nice stretch outside. Again, you have your guard and center pulling, and they're getting upfield to take on the linebacker, and I believe that'll be safety Rayshawn Jenkins. And Byron Murphy says, I had enough of that, bro. No can do. And he's lined up over the center. So see it from this angle here. Lined up over the center. Can't touch me. And then makes the play, tackle for loss. Just great recognition. Got off the ball quickly and was able to bounce off and use his athleticism and get to the running back, who Antonio Gibson, he had the better day when it comes down to, okay, we want to shut down Ramondre Stevenson, but don't forget about Antonio Gibson, who also had, again, he had the better day. He was killing the Seahawks for the most part, but not on this play. Byron Murphy steps in and makes a gorgeous tackle for loss. And I think he's going to have another good week against the Miami Dolphins. Their offensive line, pretty solid, but if Byron Murphy is continuing the success from week 2, I think he can have a really another standout week and be effective in the run and possibly getting after the quarterback, putting pressure on the backup, Skylar. Is his last name Thompson? What's his name?
Yes, Skylar Thompson. Yeah.
I don't even know who dude is. Skylar Thompson. So that was one play that stood out. Another one is going to be a sack that he didn't get the credit for. He got half of it. And I'm thinking, man, just give the young bull his credit. It's okay. I know Leonard Williams is having a really strong season so far, but man, give the young dude some love. So in this play, it's the fourth quarter, about 4.5 minutes left in the game. 3rd and 6, obvious passing down in this scenario. And it's pretty simple, man. Byron Murphy is just a bulldozer. He literally cannot be stopped. So we'll go ahead and roll it. And just watch the quickness. And then bull rush, swim through. Come here. Nothing. I don't know what you can do. This kid is really talented. Quick move, and then he just overpowers him, and gets to the quarterback. I love it. This is just what you want to see. Boom, boom, boom. You can't touch this. Swim move. Leonard and him sack him. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the next play was the field goal that was blocked by who? Julian Love.
That's correct, yeah.
So this was just a really good play. I mean, in all honesty, watch Boye Mafe off the edge. It's just, as Mike says, ass whoopings all over the field on that play. You can't teach this. This is just his speed. Swim through. Come here. And Jacoby's like, God damn, I ain't got no time to throw the rock. No, buddy, you don't. You don't. So that was the second play that I wanted to look at. And I said, yeah, man. Murphy, he's definitely a problem. And my last play is, I guess it's more so spoon, but I want you guys to watch how Byron takes on the center, gets kind of chipped, and he is so low to the ground. Byron Murphy's not tall. He's not 6'3", 6'4". If I'm not mistaken, he's 5'10", right? But watch how low to the ground he gets. His knee, I think, touches the ground on this play, and he is able to shove the offensive tackle away and make a play. Spoon to get credit first, but I want you to keep an eye on Byron Murphy, who is lined up over the center. I don't even want to talk while he does this because I think it's just a masterpiece of how athletic and strong he is. But they bring a guy in motion. The Seahawks are clearing zone in this scenario. Doesn't matter if it's a running play, but just watch. And you see him shaking his head. Yeah, buddy, you're not going to be able to run it. So if you see he's lined up over the center, and this is a better angle, and you can see how low he gets, how he's able to hold up the offensive tackle, get chipped, move him out the way, and wrap a Ramondre Stevenson alongside Devin Witherspoon, who's a missile coming off on the right side on the edge as he's blitzing in to make a tackle for a loss. So, come on, man. That is really, really tough to do. And Byron makes it look so easy. So easy. And he was doing that all training camp. This is what he was doing. Yeah, his knee is on the ground. And he's taking on 2 dudes at this time. He's getting chipped. And then he just shoves the center off of him. Devin gets in there. He gets in there. Great tackle. Tyrese as well. But overall, he stood out to me, and he was very impressive in his second NFL game. And one thing Mike has alluded to in previous seasons, where are you when the Seahawks need you? 2 minutes left in the game. These guys are driving. The Patriots are driving. Byron Murphy, he was getting some run. He had a lot of snaps. He was playing a lot of football against the Patriots. So I think it's only going to get better. But that's just a glimpse of what he can bring to this defense, especially with him being so undersized. You saw how he was able to get low, hold off one guy, take a hit from another dude, and still get to the ball carrier, make a play in the backfield. Byron Murphy special. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does against the Miami Dolphins. But going back and watching that defensive film throughout the week, man, Byron was he caught my eye.
Yeah, Byron's like a more athletic Puna forward. kind of.
Right.
It's very similar build. Byron 6 foot, by the way. I went and looked at it. So 6'1.5". Not tall. That's not very tall though. To your point. For instance, I think Leonard is much. I think Leonard's a little taller. Let me look at that before we move on.
I'm guessing 6'3".
Leonard is listed 6'5". So like it kind of speaks to your point about Byron being. She's kind of a shorter guy. Got decent arm length, I think, which is kind of why he reminds me of Puna. Obviously, they went to the same school as well. Texas boys balling out. Yeah, Byron's gonna be something. You can just tell, and he can do anything. Line up on the nose, like you said. Line up over guards. Probably shouldn't line up over tackles, but who knows? Mike McDonald's a sicko.
You want to play wide 9, buddy?
Yeah, I mean that's probably shouldn't, but who knows? You know, get busy if you want.
If Leonard Williams out there doing it every now and then, go ahead and throw Byron out there.
Yeah, that's true. Leonard's a little different of an athlete with longer arms.
No, yeah, he is.
Yeah, the arm length is what really helps you against them tackles because if your arms are long enough, you get your hands on them.
Yeah,
you can sit them down. That's what Draymond Jones is good at too. He's working on a spin move right now. That's a little work in progress. But when he gets that long arm, anyway, I'm gonna go offense. And we're gonna. Can you throw my play in the queue here? Because I want to explain it because it'll look like I don't know what I'm talking about. But we're gonna actually go back to the Dallas game from last year. This is the Thursday night football game. This is the final play, final offensive play of the game for Seattle. You guys will recognize this. I'll run it while I'm talking through and then rewind it back. This is 4th down. Gotta have it. The Seahawks try to run like a release play with the running back. I know they're going to get a blitz look. You can see they have these 14 and 1. They're mugged up right there over Evan Brown. And then you got some other guys standing up. And even number 6 there could potentially blitz. Like he's someone you got to account for, even though he's lined up over Noah. And they try to see it coming. Like, all right, cool. Let's leak out DJ Dallas. Oh, no, Micah Parsons doesn't work. Right. OK, so the reason I'm showing that play is because it is, and I felt like this right after when I saw it too live. I was like, wait a minute, is that the same play Zach Charbonnet caught a ball off of in overtime? And the answer is yes. It's Sunday on overtime against the Patriots. That is, of course. So you guys are seeing that play. It was a disaster. Everyone got killed. They got killed. Shane Waldron got killed for it. You know, being hot off Micah Parsons. You know, it was a big thing. Chris and I are very critical of that play as well. You know, taking generally the stance up if you have Jackson Smith and Jigba. You have Tyler Lockett. You have DK Metcalf, who in that game had 3 touchdowns, and you know you're going to get man coverage. DJ Dallas is low on the list of people I'm designing the gotta have it play for. It's just, you know, and I kind of still feel that way too, even though credit to Ryan Grubb and his staff and the O-line and everyone. You guys can see this is essentially the same look. We got 3x1 and 3 guys at the bottom, 1 guy at the top, isolated. That's DK. The running back next to Geno, and you got all these guys right up here at the line of scrimmage, clearly showing, hey, we're about to show some pressure. Looks like maybe like cover 1 look, you know, and you run it and you see that Zach does the same thing as DJ, where he gets across the line of scrimmage, and then ends up catching it in the flat. Boom, great front flip. Looks like one of these front flips Chris did when we were playing flag a couple of years ago in the championship game.
Mine was better, man.
And yours was good. We gotta find the clip of that. I had to throw that in there. I know you posted it.
You post? Yes, that's right. Yeah, I did.
I posted that on Twitter actually. Too.
I can't because you're swearing in the background. I have to play it. I can mute
it. Yeah. Mute that. I mean, I have to throw that in there while we're doing this. But as you can see, this is the 3rd and 6, the 3rd and 7, or something like that. In overtime, they're on like the fringe of field goal range, so you have to convert this, or you're gonna go for 4th and 1,000,000 probably, or you're gonna have to punt. And now the Patriots only need a field goal to go beat you, you know, at the crib, which is a tough spot to be in. You see Zach leaks. He's open. It is the same play. And I want to highlight a few things. For one, Shane Waldron was not an idiot. Okay. Like, there's a version of this play that works. We literally just saw it eventually win a game for the Seahawks, right? It's not as if, and I say that to say in the larger thing, I've already seen some of this. I don't want every cool thing that the new staff does to be an indictment on the previous staff. There's a lot of carryover between what Pete Carroll thinks is the way to win football and what Mike McDonald thinks is the way to win football games. Same thing with what Clint Hurt thought was the best way to run defense versus what Mike McDonald thinks, and the same things that Shane Waldron's trying to do are some of the same things Ryan Grubb's trying to do. Like, this staff is doing a good job, but I don't want the good jobs, the pat on the backs that they receive to be like, oh, these old guys were idiots and didn't know what they were doing. Grubb just literally ran the same play Shane got cooked for last year. You know, like it's the same thing. Like I really, when I went back and looked, I was like, dog, am I tripping? And then I talked to some guys in the locker room this week and they were like, yeah, no, Mike, same play. We just ran it better. I'm like, see, okay, cool. I knew I wasn't bugging. So in this one, if you're critiquing DJ here, you would probably just want him to get around Micah. Because if he goes around Micah's upfield shoulder and Micah goes full speed, Geno can probably just like right here at this point, float it to him. But instead he goes inside Micah and then gets smacked by number 90. And then the play is just killed. But it's the same idea. Everyone else is basically not an eligible player on this. They're all running routes, but it's mostly dummy routes. Shout out to Noah Fant here, actually, Chris. Can we give Noah Fant some love? Boom, just shove 56 out the club. That was kind of crazy. But yeah, if you're looking at what DJ should have done, probably should go around him. Instead, he like jumps into 90, and then the play is cooked. You can't do anything about it. But I want to look at the difference in the execution here, because in the NFL, like that's really. I think KJ used to say this all the time too. He's not the one who made it up, but it's about the Jimmys and Joes, not the X's and O's all the time. Like the guys got to go do it, you know. And some of that previous play in Dallas is bad luck, you know, with 90 just destroying DJ trying to get out of the backfield. Number 99 here, I think, is Keon White. He could have done the same thing. He just plays it differently, and then there you go, ball game. But you look, we got the same look. We look like we're gonna get man across the board. They're blocking it up very similarly. The Patriots bring a lot of pressure. Dallas brings a lot of pressure. Like all of the stuff set up very similarly. And except in this instance, boom, this is the same setup almost as DJ had. It's just that he ends up going on the outside guy or on the outside of the shoulder of the rusher, and 99 is just completely oblivious. Did I say that right? Oblivious.
There you go.
There we go. Thank you. And he sees it way too late. He's supposed to peel off. Like, look right here. He's like, oh, damn. This is that oh, damn moment for Keon White. He's a young player, so I can see why this would get him. And Geno backpedals. Great catch by Zach. And he still has to get this foot race. Credit to Christian Gonzalez for even just making contact with Zach here. But the execution is just better on a similar concept. And honestly, if you're the Seahawks, like that's what I think I was a little skeptical at first of, I'm going to pause it here and make this point, but I was a little skeptical at first of hiring Ryan Grubb, who just didn't have any experience at any level, or excuse me, any experience at all in the NFL, not as a position coach, quality control guy, you know. But if there was a job where you could potentially succeed, it was probably Seattle because of what the foundation is. You got a franchise left tackle. You have a really good veteran quarterback. You don't need to like teach him a bunch of new things. You just find out what he's good at and just spam it. And then you got arguably the best collection of receivers, you know, in the league. It's like it's set up really well, and then a good tight end in Noah. Like this was the easiest OC job I think to take, and plus the old guys left you good plays to run. You just got to teach them better than the other guys, and that I think was the biggest issue with Shane Waldron and his staff. And got to have in situations they just weren't as prepared as they should have been. You know, not that they were totally inept. You know, they had they had 6 game-winning drives last year as a team, 5 by Geno, 1 by Drew. So it's not as if they were completely inept when it was time to go win the game, but it wasn't enough, clearly. Some operational stuff wasn't clean, and then the execution wasn't clean. This is a great example of just if you just execute better, you can make some of those plays come to life on third downs, red zone, stuff like that. So like I said, we're getting the same central look here. Instead of just blowing up, Noah, I guess, was not feeling as violent today. Noah could have just blown up 55 the way he just threw 56 out of the club. He decides not to. I don't know why. I could have asked him. I just didn't. I just thought that clip of him throwing 56 out the club was funny. But see, like, watch 99 here. Because we're getting 99. He could, right here, he could wreck this thing. It's the same setup. It's the same setup. So it's a little bit of luck and a little bit better execution. And instead, the free rusher then comes from Geno's right, which is Jabril Peppers, number 5. That's to the left of your screen. And then he gets out, and then here's the oh damn moment from a better angle. It's like, oops, that's my man, ain't it? That is. I should be on 26. And he doesn't get it. But also, credit to Christian Gonzalez, who's brought over here by DK, and it's a foot race to there, and he gets Zach, and Zach has to front flip over. Again, great play. But I'm gonna just run all that again while I just talk a little bit more. But sometimes, actually, a lot of times, it really is a little bit of luck in the NFL, but also a lot of execution and repping stuff. And the more I've talked to guys in the locker room, Grubb has them really prepared for these moments. He makes a whole bucket of gotta have it plays for like every game. I don't know how many he wouldn't tell me, but he he basically every week he formulates them. I mean, he obviously talks to Gino and whoever. It's based on the opponent and everything, like what they like to do. These last couple weeks, they've had teams who really like to go man and gotta have it situations, as a lot of teams tend to do, and that makes it, I'm sure, a lot easier. But it really is execute. But it sounds like, and we'll see, Chris, as this bears out for the rest of the year, it sounds like Grubb really has them prepared for a lot of situational stuff. I was talking to Tyler Lockett about that this week. He said when it comes to these gotta have it situations, whether it's 2-point plays, red zone, 2-minute, whether they're backed up at the one, sudden change, they're at midfield, they need a field goal to tie the game, they need a touchdown to win a game. Already they've seen a change in like how Grubb has had them really prepared for, when they got to have something. And it's only 2 weeks in, but these things are important because the margins for error is so small. Like if 99 plays just the way 90 did on Dallas, this probably goes completely different, and everyone's yelling at Grubb for running the same play as the previous guy and it not working twice. Can you imagine that, Chris? If he had run the same play as Shane and then it didn't work again?
Execution, guys.
Oh my goodness. It would have been hashtag fire Grubb all through our mentions and everything. Our whole show would have been getting asked about Grubb, especially because the run game wasn't good in this. But yeah, I'm still not a super big fan of the whole concept in general because of what can go wrong. And there's just not a lot of options for Gino. I feel like, Chris, if I remember right, that was one of our critiques, that it's a one read type of situation. Yeah. Like if Zach's not there, Gino is just kind of screwed, and I'm not a big fan of that. A guy like Gino who's comfortable going through his reads, I'd like to give him options. But it works out here. And it's a credit to preparation, execution, a little bit of luck. But also shout out to Shane Waldron, man. He was not a complete just dud of an OC. He knew some ball, and the way they executed this play came right back to it, and a gotta have a situation kind of shows like, yeah, man, he knew what he was doing. They got the same look. It's the same coverage, by the way. The Patriots and Cowboys ran, and it just works out better. And then we have, once again, beautiful front flip into the end zone. Very similar, a hat tip there to Chris Kidd, fellow front flipper. And Chris has the video of his front flip. Oh, this is
here
a great play. Bonus standout play. I think this is our championship game too from a couple years ago. Oh my goodness, look at these moves. Front flip, boom. Oh, great landing, brother. That's a great landing here. Run that again. I love this. Look at this. Excuse me. If you guys never know, when we play flag football on the weekends, man, Chris does this to dudes every week. They just can't get him. He just drops his hips and he just runs right by him. It's crazy.
Oh,
and then nice landing there. Yeah, I'm glad you found that, threw that in there. And yes, Chris had to mute the video because I am swearing all through that video because the other team had been talking trash, and then Chris just burned them. It was the championship, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
It was a championship. Yeah, it was a championship game. It was a couple summers ago. Anyway, those are our standout plays. I'm glad that we both picked something quote unquote new, like a new person to highlight. In this case, Grubb. In my case, and yours, Byron Murphy. Because the future's bright, man. The future's bright in Seattle on both sides of the ball. But I think both of our plays are an example of sometimes the guys just got to go win. You got to go win. You got to go execute. It's about the Jimmies and Joes, not always the X's and O's. Byron Murphy did a good job of kicking that right guard's ass most of the day. I believe he's a rookie, that right guard. So
rookie on rookie violence.
Rookie on rookie violence, 64. I think he's someone we talked about with Chad Graff in our preview show, someone to watch. I thought he played well against the Bengals. Not so much against the Seahawks. That's rookies for you. They're a little bit up and down. But shout out to Byron Murphy getting his first sack. He was very happy about that. I talked to him in the locker room after. He was ear to ear grin, man. He's like, yeah, man, I got my first one. He said he's never going to forget that. And then shout out to Grubb and the staff for executing really good on that third down play. Same play they ran last year that didn't work. And that got them fried on social media, fried on TV shows. Fried even on our podcast. Again, my stance has not totally changed. I'm still not a huge fan, especially in a game where guys are cooking. Like Jackson had 117 in that game on Sunday. DK had 129. I know I'm getting man coverage. I'm probably going there.
You're one of the two.
But it worked. It worked. It worked. But that was mostly to show execution is the ultimate thing at the end of the day. And also that Shane Waldron was not an idiot. So shout out to, because Shane's getting cooked too right now, I think, because the Bears are struggling. So, you know, a little love to him, love to Grub as well, and love to Chris for front flipping, finding his front flip video. That was really good, man. It was a good stick of the landing. That was great.
I wish I would have got more air, but it doesn't matter. You know, it's
no,
all good.
That was good. That was really impressive. I'm glad we don't, you know, this show's not about our own highlights, but that was apt. That was a time where
it was perfect timing. It worked out.
Yeah, applicable to the situation, because Zach did a front flip, you did a front flip. Yeah, that was good. Those are our standout plays of week 2, featuring Chris's front flip. I appreciate you guys for tapping in each week. We're going to make sure we bring this to you. It's growing into becoming one of my favorite segments that we do, especially when I can get insight or confirmation from the guys in the locker room about basically confirming that I know what I'm talking about, or that Chris know what he's talking about. I love when they're like, yeah, that's exactly what we had there. It's like, boom.
I know ball. Check.
Yeah, you know, that's what I legit told somebody in the locker room that today. I was like, yo, was that the same play? They were like, yep, same coverage. I was like, okay, cool. I know ball. I know film. You know, because sometimes I feel like I know, and then, you know, it just feels good for the guys involved to confirm it. So that was good. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Am I forgetting anything, Chris, before I get us out of here?
Nah, man. This is exclusive, so only YouTube viewers. So we appreciate all the love and support. We will catch you after the Seahawks play the Miami Dolphins. After that game, we'll come up with our post-game show, and then it's right back at it for another week. We appreciate all the love and support. Go Cougs!
That's right. Go Cougs, baby.